I have a friend with a terrible back. It goes out usually several times a year, which is a real shame because he's only in his 30s. But the last time it went out, he told me he went to the chiropractor's office and there was a sign on the wall that said, "The 5 most dangerous words in the English language. Maybe it will go away." Dangerous words. To think that this back pain doesn't mean anything. It means something. It's a message that's being sent to us from our body. Something is going on that needs attention. And that's what's happening in the scriptures today, too. There's a message that's being sent to us. And just as back pain is a very unappealing way to get a message, so often the messengers that come to us are not appealing. John the Baptist was not an appealing character. He was strange. And his message was shrill. And we find that that's often how messages come to us. And maybe they have to be that way, because that's the only way that they would get our attention. Back pain is a message from our body. And emotional and spiritual pain is a message to us from our soul. Pain, they say, is like a traveling professor. It goes to everybody and visits. And it's not unusual to hear that the students do not want to learn the lesson. So we try to hide. But the wise don't do that. The wise say to the traveling professor, "Come in. I don't want to avoid you. I'm not going to hide from you. I'm not going to numb you. I'm going to let you come in, and I want you to stay until I've learned what you came to teach me." And this is so hard. It's the hardest work we do, to withstand our pain, whatever it is, and to see what it came to teach us. It's a lot easier to want to numb it, or to hide from it, or to hope those dangerous words, maybe it will go away. I heard a children's story once about a chickpea that was being made into a stew. And the chickpea got into the pot and liked it at first. It was warm in there. It was nice. And then the cook added some spices. And he said, it smells good in here. And then the boiling started. And he did not like that. No surprise. So he decided, I've got to get out of here. So he watched the boil bubbles coming up and said, I'm going to ride one of those boil bubbles out of this pot. I'm going to go up over the side. And he got himself in the perfect spot, and up came the boil bubble, and he popped up near the rim, and he almost got out. But at the moment he was about to pop out, the cook got the spoon and bashed him on the head. And the chickpea said, "Ow, what did you do that for?" And the cook said, "You're not done yet." So often, we want to jump out of whatever the hot situation we are in. We want to get away from wherever the pain is coming from. We do not want to deal with it. And who can blame us? But we are like that chickpea. We're supposed to be seasoned. We're meant to be tenderized. Life is supposed to work on us so that we can become a delicious meal for the world. God is intending us to follow in the footsteps of Jesus, who gave his life as food for us, and we are meant to be food for others. In order for us to go through the process that we need to reach our potential, we have to not try to escape it. We have to not run or numb it. When numbing becomes our way of life, we call that addiction. That's when you wind up running from your pain as more than a habit, as a compulsion. And it is the most painful way to live, because you're always on the run from something that won't go away. Because the messenger won't leave until we've learned what it came to teach us. So whenever we are involved in some kind of addictive behavior, we know that we are numbing. We are running. We're hiding. And it happens in most of our lives in some way. It happens in all of our families with at least someone. Someone can't handle the pain, and so they turn to drinking. Someone can't handle the pain, and so they turn to compulsive overeating. Someone can't handle the pain, and so they shop endlessly, go into debt. Or they get into websites that they shouldn't be in, and then they wind up being ashamed when they're uncovered. It could be other things too. Whatever our addictions are the signal, the flare, that this is our greatest inadequacy in life. Wherever we are addicted, that is where we find the treasure map that leads to the gold, because that's exactly where the problem lies. That's our greatest inadequacy. That's where we're losing power. It's like we have a leak. And this is what John the Baptist was talking about. To prepare the way of the Lord, you need to take the crooked and make it straight. Take the valleys, fill them in. Take the rugged and rough and smooth it out. That work happens inside of us. Jesus is not depending on us to build a road somewhere. Jesus is asking us to get things straightened out inside. And it's hard. One recovering addict described the recovery process like this. She said, it's like recovering from frostbite. You're numb for a long time, and then all of a sudden, when the feeling comes back, it tingles. And then it's like pins and needles, and before you know it, it's daggers. And it makes you want to run back. But if you do that, you'll never recover. You have to go through it. Ugh, how hard. But this is the highest spiritual work that we can do. This is the work that we were born to do. It is the highest calling, to deal with our greatest inadequacies, to look at our addictions, and to turn another way. So this week, we are being invited to consider what in my life has been a messenger I have not wanted to listen to. What are the things that I am running from? And how am I running? How am I numbing? How am I avoiding it? What are the signs that I've heard from people that say, you've really got to get a handle on this? Just like someone who no longer can get out of a chair because of their backache needs to do something. All of us who can no longer live our life the way we were meant to because of our drinking, our eating, our shopping, our whatever, we've got to do something about that. That's where our hiding place has been. And we need to learn the lesson that this messenger came to teach. It's not smart of us to think, maybe this will just go away. It won't. So, whatever the messenger is in your life, it's probably a lot like John the Baptist. Wild, untamed, unpleasant, not the kind of person you'd have to dinner a second time. Once was enough, thank you. But we hear what he's saying. We got to get inside and make all of those crooked places straight. All of those rough and rugged and ragged places, we need to smooth them out. We need to pay attention to the message and not just numb it or try to run away. Because the Savior is ready to come. So let's get inside and make straight the way.